I am from Baltimore originally, back in Baltimore now. It is a nasty day outside, so I had to pivot a little bit. We are inside, so space restricted, but we're going to have a pretty interactive demo. I'm really excited to have one of my longtime goalies with me today to do a lot of these drills, Leah Wareheim, who is a redshirt freshman at Georgetown. So she's going to join me for a lot of these demos. But just to back up for a second, so I grew up in Baltimore. I played at Duke. I played on the U.S. team for about 10 years, played in 2 World Cups, 2009, 2013. Feels like a lifetime ago. And, you know, I'm just kind of living the goalie dream here, being able to turn my passion into my job, and really excited to be here and just share some of these drills with you all today. So I've got kind of a whole list of things I want to get through. Given that I had to change my venue, I'm going to try and move this computer around to make sure you can see everything. If you can't, let me know. If you want a different angle, you can let me know that too. I start almost every session with my goalies, whether they are 8 years old or whether they are in college, with some hand-eye warm-up drills. I think it's really important just to get our hands going. Hand speed, tracking is going to be huge in the goal. So we'll start with just, here, let me introduce you to Leah. Where are you, Leah?
Hello.
There she is. This is Leah. She has graciously agreed to join me today. So I'm going to angle this down here, make sure you can see
Hi, Leah. They're putting you to work, huh?
Yeah. Putting her to work. So Leah, like I said, has probably been with me since she was maybe 9 years old, and she's now 20. So we have a long-standing relationship here. So she knows what to expect from me, and we'll just go from here. So we're going to start 2 balls. We're going to start just going back and forth with our hands here, just catching over, just back and forth, catching over, tossing under. And I'm going to drop the first one. All right, so everything we're doing is reaching out and grabbing. We're standing close. We're not letting the ball come to us in here on our body. Everything we do in the goal is attacking. Okay, so we're going to be here. Next sequence, we're going to go in a circle. Leah's 1 step ahead of me. So we'll circle left direction, we'll circle right. And I'm going to drop it again. No one's perfect, friends. You're allowed to drop it. All right, so after this, we're going to keep it. Leah's going to keep it in her left hand. I'm going to keep it in my right hand. We're going to cross them. So now we're crossing the balls. They're passing in the air. Sometimes they'll hit. They hit. You grab the one that's coming towards you. They drop. You just reset. So we're just getting our hands moving. This is something, you know, I emphasize a lot with our hands. If you watch our bodies are not moving here. A lot of young goalies are going to bounce, right? They're going to bounce. We're going to hold still. Our hands are doing all the work. All right, after we get through those, we're going to have a third ball. So I'm going to do a little juggling pattern with Leah here. So I'm going to go straight. She's going to come across. Make sure my computer doesn't fall asleep here. All right, so I'm straight. She's across. We're just going to go kind of as quick as we can. See if we can force the other person to work really hard here. See who drops it first. No pressure. All right, we're primed. We're ready to go. So now I'm going to go across, and Leah's going to go straight. So again, just changing the visual point. Oh, that was me. Okay.
On that one, real quick, can we get an angle where you guys kind of rotate a little bit, because it's kind of hard to see who's going straight and who's going across.
Yeah.
Keep the computer where it is. Keep the computer where it is, and then just kind of like, instead of you both being parallel, like kind of rotate. Yeah, there, right there, exactly. Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna go straight. You're gonna go across here.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, then I will go across. You go straight. Oh, sorry. It wasn't me. Oh, there it is. Okay. Was that better? Good?
Perfect.
Okay, next one we're going to do, I call this, we've done this since college, the ball drop. So Leah's going to line up, going to come this way. She's going to put her hands, we're going to start with the balls narrow, and she's going to be a little bit wider. I'm going to drop one or the other. This side, right hand, this side, left hand. So we've got a little reaction with the drop. Now, I will say, one thing I want to point out with this, I've seen other coaches do this. One thing I really emphasize is taking a direct line to the ball and not sweeping around and catching it underhand. Everything I train is forward to the ball on a direct line. Even on my weak side saves, you're coming across on a direct line rather than that sweeping around. So I want this motion completely out of our training, vocabulary, all of it together. So we'll back up a little bit so you can see Leah all the way to the ground. She's gonna go straight down to the ball. She's gonna finish in her squat. There's no stepping. Her chest stays up while her butt goes down. This position in the goal is fantastic for our lows because we're able to track from stick to stick. Whereas a lot of goalies bend over at your waist to get this, don't drop. So if she goes and just drops at her waist, her head's gonna go down. She's losing sight of the ball from stick to stick. So butt stays down. This is a position we train a lot. Leah's quite good at this, so I will add some little wrist fakes. So as your goalie picks up the speed and is pretty consistently getting these, add in some fakes. Make it harder for them. And then every now and then, I like to drop both. So the next one we'll do is I'm gonna put the balls wide and Leah is narrow. So this is gonna emphasize your peripheral vision. She's still looking right down the middle. She's working to see the ball out here. Sorry, grab it. This one is much harder. So master narrow before you go wide. Touching everything. That's good.
Unconscious, even after treatment.
Add in the fakes. One more. Good. All right, so I love these ball drop progressions. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm now gonna have Leah actually move through a ball drop. So I'm gonna pivot you guys here a little bit. You can see my makeshift goal on the back wall. It's really something special. Okay, so Leah's gonna stand kind of along that wall, facing, pause it right here. Again, she's gonna use peripheral vision here. I'm gonna drop a ball out here. She's in her ready position. She is allowed one bounce. So she's working on reaction and tracking. So peripheral vision to see the ball and then reacting and running through. If we were outside, I'd have her actually really move through this ball. Here, she'll probably just take 1 or 2 steps. We don't wanna run into anything. Yeah. That's it. One more. That's it. And we'll switch and we'll do the exact same thing from the other side. And she's always going dominant hand to the ball, getting down for an under because this ball's low. Good grab. One more. Good. And with any reaction type thing, when you get into a rhythm, a lot of times the goalies are going to want to just go on rhythm. So changing your pace between reps. So maybe you hold the ball an extra second, make them hold, make them relax, I think is really, really important. So the next progression of the ball drop, we'll do one more, is going to be Leah facing the wall. So say ball's behind. I'm going to give her the verbal cue to turn, and then I'll have 2 balls out here. She'll turn and set. One of the 2 is going to drop. She's going to take her hand. She's going to explode through this ball. So I'm going to find you guys a different angle so you're not looking right at my back here. So let's go. I caught you.
Uh-oh. We got it? All good?
You're going to talk about hand training, okay? It comes
All
in
those
handy
ball
when your
drop drills
laptop-
allowed you to save that computer, right?
Yeah, 100%. All right, you tell me if this is a good or bad angle. I might need to back you up a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna back you up so you can see everything. Let's try this. All right, so Leah's gonna face the wall. I'm gonna call her turn, and then she's gonna get all the way through that ball. Turn. So that hesitation there got her to jump a little bit. So again, varying the pace between reps. Turn. she turns and she sets. Anytime you're doing hand-eye or shots off of a turn, it's very tempting to want to just start to move forward towards the shooter. So holding and actually waiting for release is huge. Let me look at my thing here. Let's see, what do we got next? So those are all the ball drops. Something I really like to do, especially with younger goalies, is getting them to cue in on the ball specifically. So taking a ball, adding a number or a letter, a shape, a color, and you can really do anything. So I'm gonna grab these balls. We will pick, I'll show you guys, A, B, and C on these balls, nice and small. I tend to not like to mark up on my balls, so I go, Michael's, I get the little stickers, stick it on. If I need some balls, I can rip them off. No harm, no foul. So I'm gonna take Leah through just 2 saves in each spot. Her goal here is to call the letter before she makes the save. So we're gonna work on her track. All right, so they're behind my back, she's set. Up, B. Okay, good. We're gonna go weak side. 6 side mid. Okay, overs. Okay, unders. Okay, so you get the idea. So we're gonna hit every save spot. I'm gonna put these behind my back. I'm gonna vary the speed, the pace. She's trying to catch that number or letter. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. It's not critical that you always get this right. It's the focus and the attention on trying to focus on a smaller part of the ball. That is the goal. If I don't have balls with numbers or letters, I'm asking my goalies to tell me who makes the ball. Whose logo is on that ball? Is it a Brian? Is it a Martin? Is it a Vike? You can use anything. It's just that cue to get your goalie to really focus in on that ball. So the next progression to go, if you want to go full speed shots, can't do that in here, is to, can you grab a few of those balls? Is to take some balls, and I like to get some electrical tape that comes in all different colors, and I will wrap a stripe on the ball, like so. So now you can go full speed, giving you something to track. You're very unlikely to be able to see the numbers and letters that small at a full speed shot. You will be able to see the color. So again, calling color, making saves, driving your hands, train your eye to react a little bit faster. Something I love for my younger goalies, kind of the same thing, driving hands and tracking. You want to grab the Velcro paddles? Is a very fun little game you can get at any Target, Amazon, probably for $3.99 or less. These lovely Velcro paddles, some tar grip tennis balls, okay? I use this a lot with my younger ones, especially to get them to drive their hands, especially on lows. We're not coming in and we're not trapping it at our feet. We're going out and we're getting it. So just like we did with the numbered and lettered balls, I'm gonna have Leah just jump in there for a few. There, perfect. So I'm gonna move my laterals. Let's see. Got balls rolling everywhere. Put this down a little bit lower. And we're gonna make her go low so you can really see the reach here. All right, are we ready? We're gonna go stick side low. Let's see how far out in front of her feet her hand gets and where she makes contact before the floor. So really great for our younger goalies. It's super satisfying when the ball sticks to that Velcro. Easy target there to work on getting out. Let's go weak side though. And let's hold that low position at the end. And just, my little soapbox with positioning again. Leah's chest is up. This is going to help with her tracking. She can see my hand up here if it were my stick, and she's going to track all the way down to the ball down there on the floor. As opposed to a lot of goalies, put your butt up. And here, I call this a little tabletop. They're going to lose sight of the ball from stick to stick. They're going to kind of know based on release where it's going, and they're going to try and get there. You'll have some success, but you're not going to have as much success as if you really track that ball all the way in. Perfect. Okay, so the next thing I want to do with Leah, she's quite good at this drill. I call it the 3 ball. We're trying to keep them going as long as we possibly can. hand, so working her top hand speed. You can stand on a little goal. So I'm going to start with free balls. It's kind of as much on me as it is on Leah. I've got to keep these going. So we're going to go until these drop. She's going to put her left hand behind her back. She's just working top hand. She's not stepping here. If I go low, she's just going to kind of bend. We're really working on getting our hands out. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're going to start over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 24. Not bad. That was pretty good for Leah.
That was
So
good.
she
Let's
has
get some hand
44.
clap emojis going in the chat. I thought that was a good rep. Good round.
We can get our hands going pretty quickly. All right, where did I put my paper? So that's a really fun one. We also can take that and make it a little bit more. I know so many goalies like to juggle. I like to take juggling and kind of take it to the next step. So we add a little partner juggling here. So if I'm going to be left hand, Leah's going to be my right hand. We're going to stand next to each other. Put this hand behind your back. So I'm going to come up. She's going to go under. We're going to keep it close. We're going to keep it close. All right, ready? A little pressure on Leah here. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. All right, so you get the idea. Something fun with juggling, make it different. You can change the angle. Leah's going to stand in front of me. We're both in the picture here. Now we're going to face each other. I'm going to go first. She's going to go under. Under. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Okay, that's our first time practicing that in a really long time. So I'm gonna say that was a success. So any type of different juggling pattern. I love to do juggling off the wall. So now, that wall is giving it back to you as you're giving it to the wall. So it just makes you go a little faster. So if you've mastered just that 3-ball juggle, see if you can make it harder, right? Always try and step up your game just a little bit. Okay, let's see. What do we have next?
Coach, let me throw a question at you real quick.
A tool
if I could. Yep. Quick question. So as you go into some of these drills, are some of them better for like the pregame warm-up, or are some of them just for simply practice? Can you use them any single time? A couple folks are wondering, what are some good hand-eye drills before a game? I think we're looking at them, but I just want to make sure. I just want to get your opinion on that.
Yeah. So when I am doing a pregame warm-up, I'll go through the save spots. I'll go through the 3-ball. I love to get it moving a little bit faster. Any of these, really, you could use. Obviously, I'm probably not going to be kind of partner juggling before a game. Probably more of a singular focus, but definitely each save spot. I would love to get the numbers and letters on the ball with them, before they hop in the goal. I'm also really big on, starting with a small stick. Start small, work big. Let your goalie stick feel even bigger. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, cool. So a tool that I found, I spend so much time on social media, on Instagram, Blaze Paths. I'm not sure if you're all familiar with them, but please, these are awesome. So a little plug for them. They're up mounted on the wall up here. They light up in all different colors. You can see them back there on the wall. Make sure we're all connected here. And they have been just an my goalies. I'm really huge on kind of unconventional training methods. I think you don't just need to jump in the goal and get ripped on. We can train in so many different ways. We can make it fun. We can make it competitive. So the first one I'm going to have Leah do here is a save spot reaction. So each one of these pods is going to light up in a different color. She's going to stand in front. It's going to time her reaction. So how long it takes her to touch it. And then when she touches it, it will turn off and the next one will go on. So each one of these are in play. So high, mid, low, both sides. And it'll keep track of her reaction so she can then compare, if she's getting faster, what's working, what's not. So here she goes. All that color. Okay, yeah. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let's start again. It's the wrong one. Here we go. All right. Here we go, Leah. Don't drop your hands in. Good. All right, so that is a round of. Oh, where'd my computer go? Okay, so that is. Did we see all that? Because my screen went dark.
Yeah, it was perfect.
So Leah did a practice round of this before, and if you could see on my phone here, it tracks your stats. So she was over 1,000 with her reaction time. So just that one practice round, the lower the number, the faster the reaction. I'm not sure what we're working milliseconds. So she's now at 982. So one practice round, big improvement there. So next I'll have her pick up her stick and gloves. So similar, except now we're adding the sticks, so the true weight, and we're going to do the same thing with reaching to each point, leading with their top hand.
And I don't touch the wall.
You can. All right.
You can see her stance is poor.
You're good. You can hit the wall. All right. We'll just do two more. All right, so this one will not gauge your reaction time because you're not touching the pod. So there's no data there, but it's good to get your stick in your hands and work through those mechanics anyway. So then the next one we'll do is just the low saves. So I'm gonna pull these two off the wall here. I'm gonna have Leah line up in our goal. Yep, with your stick. And I'm going to put that out in front. So she's got her stick side and her weak side. And she is going to, as each lights up, call that color and reach out to make her low save.
Don't touch it.
You don't need to touch it.
No.
So eyes are going to be up. So here we're really training, again, that peripheral vision. Let's see if we can get this down a little bit. Looks like only one wants to fire. So eyes up. And we're gonna wait for it. Let's do two more. Cool.
So close.
So close. So again, there we're training our peripheral vision. You can pick different points to keep your eyes on. Pull the pods outside of your visual field, so you're really working those eye muscles. The last one I'm going to show you with these blaze pods is a fun little competition. So let's so we'll put this on the floor here while we get set up. So Leah, you're gonna grab the red ones, I'm gonna grab the blue ones. Right out there. So we're gonna line them up here on the floor. Sure we can see everything. All right, so you're gonna face me. Fun to do just to see how fast your hands are reacting. So this is one where it's gonna trigger on the tap, and we'll be able to see who has the faster hand speed. No pressure. Yeah. All right, are we ready? Oh, it got me. All right, so then we can look at results. I got 18 hits and my reaction time was 3:27. We'll go to Leah and she got 18 and her reaction was 3:65. So Still got it, just a little bit.
Love it. Still got it, coach.
Still got it every now and then, you know? I could take that win. Okay, so the last kind of fun thing I want to show you guys. So again, I talked earlier about making training fun, you know, kind of thinking about some unconventional training tools. So I grew up going to the beach, and we loved paddleball on the beach, right? So something I pull out at camp a lot, just to get my goalies to be competitive, have fun, are paddles. Okay, so you can see I've set up a little court here in the gym. The first one I'm going to show you is, you know, collaborative approach. We're going to see how many consecutive hits we can get. Hey, push the balls back. Let's not break it. All right. Make sure your training space is safe. You don't want to break an ankle. I'm definitely not sending Leah back to Georgetown injured here. All right, so we're going to see. So we go. Go as high as 200. Really depends on how difficult you want to make it for your partner. So here I'm going to try and move it around for Leah a little bit, right? Even though we know that this is a collaborative drill. All right, ready? That was my fault. That was aggressive. Okay, so just a fun way to get your hands moving. The next one we do, I gotta give props to Kim Kalarick, who played at Virginia on this one. We have had massive camp battles with our little court here. So you want to make it a little more competitive? We use jump ropes. I put tape down, make a little court. Ball can bounce once. Ball bounces more than once or gets by you, other person's point. Okay, so I just introduced this to Leah today, so we're gonna give her a little leeway here. Here we go. All right, so you get to start. Ready? Oh, sorry, that's my bad. That went flying by you. Down the hall. I guess they were warming up. Okay. Oh, died. This is not the bounciest of surfaces in here. Alright, start that again. One more time, just for fun. One bounce, one bounce. Oh, hey, kept it in front. Okay, anyway, just a fun little way to get your hands moving. You know, if you're at the beach with your goalie, great thing to do on the sand. Fun, but also helps your hands, helps your tracking. So at this point, that's all the drills I had mapped out. It looks like we've got plenty of time for questions. If you want to see anything again, have any questions for Leah, she is here. What can we do for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for going through those drills. It was awesome to see. Awesome to see that stuff. There was, you know, we got some young goalies on, and you know, they might not make the correlation between, you know, playing paddleball, playing tennis, and like lacrosse goalie, right? Like what, you know, they seem very different like when I'm just looking at them. So what skills exactly am I working that translate over into the lacrosse goalie game? Could you expand on that?
Yeah, sure. Quickness, reaction, tracking, moving your hands, you're reaching for the ball, and all of these things. You know, growing up, I played baseball through probably 7th or 8th grade. Only girl in the league, couldn't get me to give it up, and I played catcher and first base. Again, very different sport than lacrosse, but as a catcher and as a first baseman, what's the basics there? Like, you're keeping the ball in front of you. So all of the things that I'm doing here, whether it's paddle, juggling, that ball is in front of me, I'm keeping it in front of me, I'm moving towards the ball,
Amazing.
I'm tracking the ball. I see a comment like, is that a ping pong ball? That's a squash ball we're using. But ping pong is another great training tool for goalies, right? Something that's not just getting your sticking gloves. It's reaction. That ball's coming at you, it's bouncing, you're reacting, you're tracking. Another visual game that I like is, you go to the Major League Baseball games and they hide the ball under a hat and they go do it around. I found that goalies are very successful at that game. So anything, right, that makes you focus and track and follow something is going to help you in the goal.
Yeah, love it. I remember there was an assistant coach on our team when I played, and he was a new assistant coach. And at one point in the season, he goes, "Damon, are you really good at ping pong?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." He's like, "I could tell. You just got that, like, those instant reactions." And yeah, I love playing ping pong. Interesting
Ping pong's
question.
great. No, go ahead.
No, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, going off the ping pong thing, post lacrosse, liveness, and paddle, right? Like all these things lend itself to goalies. I love my high school goalies when their high school teams their high schools have squash teams, to get out and try squash. That ball does not bounce, so it's not coming towards you as much as like a racquetball. So you're really lunging and reaching, So a lot of those racket sports lend to the hand-eye development and the reaching and quickness that you're going to use in the goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved it. I played tennis in high school. I still play tennis. I love it. I think a lot of the movements that you do in tennis and pickleball translate directly into lacrosse goalie, especially when we talk about like getting our weight reset and then like reacting to either your left or your right. Like you do that exactly in tennis and pickleball. Dave was asking an interesting question. If my goalie likes pickleball or tennis, are there any motions that would not be good for a goalie? I can't think of any, but I don't know. Does anything come to mind?
No,
Yeah.
not offhand. I think it's a lot of the tenets of it really lend itself to it, but it's also so different of a sport. It's not going to hurt you in the goal. It's only going to help.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. There were a lot of folks. We threw a link to the Blaze Pods, which are an awesome training tool. They're a little pricey, right? They're a little pricey.
They're pricey.
Yeah.
They're pricey.
I don't know of an alternative, but I think you can get a pack of 4 for someone linked it in here, like $250 $250, $239. So, pricey tool, but awesome training tool if you can afford it.
Yeah, I mean, I would throw that out to your club programs, to your school.
Mm-hmm.
They have many teams within a club program. If their goalie coach can get a set of them for the program and you have the ability to use them, I think that's probably the most affordable way to go. And I could be wrong, but most club programs can probably swing that.
Yeah, that's affordable for a club program. That's right. Maybe not for an individual. That money might be better spent elsewhere. But yeah, for a club program, that's awesome. And then who knows? Maybe we can get them as a sponsor of the Goalie Summit next time. We'll give away a bunch of Blaze Pods.
Yeah.
Tag them on Instagram and say you got to sponsor the Goalie Summit, Blaze Pods. Ron was asking,
Sure.
what reaction time training app do you like to use? I guess Blaze Pods comes with its own training app, its own app, right? Are there others, or you just use that one?
Yeah, that's the only one I'm using right now. I know there are other apps out there. I haven't done a ton of research because this one's worked so well for me.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Nolan's been asking this question every single session. I love it. He says, "What made you want to play lacrosse and specifically goalie?"
That's a great story. So first game I ever played it at 7 years old, I was in the goal. No one on our team wanted to try it, and our coach asked me, and my very clear response to her was only for half because I want to score goals, which I think every kid wants to score goals. And I think after that first half, I felt like I did okay, and I was like, you know what, this is okay, I'll stay. Now, I ended up playing half in goal and half on the field probably through the 8th grade when I really had to choose, and I know that's probably a lot younger these days where programs are asking you to really commit. But I did find that having field experience really helped me in the goal, be more versatile coming out of the goal, being comfortable handling the ball. So, those young goalies on, I would say, get your field time too. Have a field stick, do your dodging, work on your stick work. don't just put yourself in the goal at 7, 8, 9 years old. Make sure you're experiencing everything, because if you end up in the goal, it'll just make you a more well-rounded goalie.
Love it. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think you should be playing in the field as a youth, like even if you want to play goalie, splitting time as you did. I think that's tremendously beneficial to your goalie game in the long run. So, okay.
Sure.
Alexis is a youth goalie, and she says, "What if your club program doesn't have any goalie coaches? Mostly, I just get put in goal without much training unless I go to a clinic. What advice would you give to Alexis?"
Get to as many clinics as you can. See who's in your area, to reach out. I think depending on your age, look up your local high school teams. If the high school has, strong goalie, reach out and see if they'd be willing to show you some drills. I mean, I think you have to be proactive, because not every club team is going to have access to a goalie coach. I think we have a lot of very well-meaning and, enthusiastic parent coaches and coaches of club teams, and you're going to hear a lot of different strategy and technique. Try and find somebody in your area, reach out. I know that, if you go through my website, and I'm sure a lot of the other goalie coaches on this summit, there's contact, reach out and ask for drills, reach out and ask for support. We all have contacts in different areas of the country, and we might be able to get you connected with somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, goalies are awesome, right? It's a small, tight-knit community, and if you reach out to a high school goalie, I'm sure they would love to help you. I would, right? I would. So if you're 9, 10, 11, even like, just a junior high goalie, or like just someone who's a couple years older than you.
For sure.
Yeah, love it. And then, you made another good point there, Coach, is at a certain point too, Alexis, it's your responsibility to come up with a training program for yourself. So if they're not doing it, we just learned all these great hand-eye drills, right? Like take that into practice. And if they're just having you stand around, now you've got this repertoire of drills that you and the other goalie, or you and maybe a parent, or you and an injured player can do and get better.
For sure.
Okay. If you had to, Michelle, if you had to choose one drill, what drill is the most successful?
Most successful.
Yeah, maybe makes you the most successful. The best drill. Let's just. That's how I kind of interpret that.
Are we going in terms of hand-eye here, sticking with the theme, or
let's stick with the theme. Let's stick with the theme. Yeah.
I think I really like the tracking balls. The numbered, lettered, striped. You can start with the letters and you progress up. I think it's great. You're drilling your save technique, and you're also adding in the tracking component. So that's probably the one that I would go to. And just remember, again, we talk about equipment and the Blaze Pods. There are all kinds of brands that sell goalie tracking balls. You don't need a special ball. Get a Sharpie on all your, greased up lacrosse balls and write some numbers and letters on them. So there's ways to be, economical. You don't need to go out and buy the specific tracking balls, but I think that's probably the one I would go to.
Yeah. Or different colored balls. If you got them, those work too. You can kind of hide them behind the back and throw it. And I've seen.
Yeah.
I've seen,
and I think that, the racket balls come in all different colors, one drill we didn't do here, but have your goalie face the wall, stand behind them, and throw different colored racquetballs off the wall. So now they're trying to find it coming off the wall, call the color. Little bouncier than a lacrosse ball, is going to come at you a little bit faster. Just another fun one.
Yeah, I like that. Or you could throw two balls, different color, and call out one of the colors, and I make the save on the color, right? And it just gets your mind firing, gets your reaction time quicker. It works.
Totally.
It works. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Mia says she wants to know the best pregame hand-eye drill. Mia.
Best pregame hand-eye drill. Something I used to do before every game in college is I'd get my 3 balls and I'd go in on a wall, right? So it's coming back at me. I'm just getting my hands moving. And then, the first thing on the field I would do is hit every save spot with just my hands. Then I go to a small stick, then I go to my goalie stick. So I don't think you have to be crazy pregame. I think you do something short that works for you. Every goalie is going to be a little bit different. Hopefully, all of you guys are developing your routine that makes you feel as set and ready as you can be. And my routine probably looks very different than Leah's routine. So it's finding what works for you. So try some different things. If you like juggling, try it off the wall. If you ask your coach, hey, before I grab my stick, can you hit 2 in each save spot and then grab your stick? So I think it's a little bit of trial and error for everybody.
Jason says most of the drills discussed today require 2 people. Besides the juggling, any good drills to do alone?
You can do pretty much every single one of these off of a wall or off of a bounce back. Skill level will be a little bit increased because that ball's now coming back at you. But I tell all my goalies, you don't need another person. You can do all of these off the wall.
Yeah. And also too, a lot of times
anything.
I was going to say, a lot of times people think that, you need Team USA Coach Meg to that level of lacrosse knowledge to help you out. But, it can be like, hey, Mom, come here. Here's what you do, right? Throw me the ball and I'm going to make the saves. And so you're just knowing the drill. You can find someone, brother, sister, mom, dad, whatever. But yeah, that is, sometimes you are alone. I do get that. And you can do it against the wall.
Yep.
Okay. Coach, talk about your training and people want to get, between the pipe slack, they want to train with you. Do you do clinics? Where are they at? How do I get the info? All that good stuff. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, so our website is goldmedallacrosse.com. So all of our camps, clinics, information for lessons, contact information for me will be on there. We have our big winter clinic coming up. We are at a new location this year. Really excited to be partnering with the St. James in Springfield, Virginia on December 30th. So that's a 1-day, 9 to 3 for female goalies in the 5th through 12th grade. So I believe there's still a few spots left in that. If anybody's local and interested, that's going to be a pretty incredible staff. The staff for that camp will be on the website as well. A lot of current really strong college goalies, a few college coaches. This year we have Paulina DeFada, who played in the AU this past summer, really successful professional level goalie. So that's going to be incredible. This summer, pre-COVID, we had an overnight camp. We're constantly pivoting with requirements by different locations. We'll probably go to a few 1-day clinics this summer, and all that information can be found on our website.
Okay. I love it. I just interviewed Paulina for my podcast. It hasn't come out yet, but she's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely check that
Awesome.
out. Lucy Neff says, wow, I'm close. Lucy, you better get there. You better be there. Virginia. Any other Virginia goalies? She says she'll try. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, right. Abigail wants to know, is wall ball good for goalies?
For sure. I think anytime you have your stick in your hands is a good thing. Stick work, we'll spend a good set portion of our clinics on stick work for a goalie. I always say your first job is to save the ball, and your second job is to get the ball safely to your team. You need possession. So your stick work is just as important as those field players. So obviously focusing dominant, but mixing in some non-dominant, be comfortable outside the crease, get on the wall. I grew up, I probably broke windows, molding off windows. My parents were livid because I've spent, so much time on that brick wall. If you have a brick wall, pick a brick, hit the brick, hit that same one 10 times, switch hands, try and hit it non-dominant. Absolutely get on the wall.
Yeah. Not only is it good for goalies, well, it's great for goalies. Just like Coach Meg said, the better your stick skills are, it just translates into being able to make more saves. And having great stick skills also helps you with that clearing game and confidence in that clearing game. So yeah, it is phenomenal. Good question, Abigail. Okay. Dave says, I've seen this hand-eye coordination gadget that has 3 arms with 3 colors. I think you throw it. Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's the Hiko sticks. Have you seen those, Coach? The Hiko sticks? Hako sticks?
I've seen. I have not used them, but I have seen them. It's an interesting concept.
Yeah, I think it works. It's kind of like, it's kind of like the same idea of like calling out a color. You throw up that stick and I have to catch that particular end of it. And so, yeah, there's some training going on there, some nerve firings in the brain. Okay. Let's see. When you do wall ball, what percentage of time do you use a goalie stick versus a player stick?
Good question. I would do both. Mostly probably goalie, but I just love lacrosse. So I would love to do everything my friends could do with a field stick, and I would challenge myself to do it with a field stick too. So I think like especially on the women's side, the stick is so different. You're gonna be better if you play with the girl stick. It's harder to catch, not as forgiving. So it's just gonna help your stick skills. I did a lot with a field stick.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to put numbers on it for me, I was probably about 50-50 in terms of I do wall ball with the shorty and then switch to the goalie stick. And even, there's a drill called the dock drill. I did a video of it on my Instagram a couple weeks ago or maybe a week ago. You throw the ball against the wall and kind of make saves as you're kind of stepping at the 45. So you get closer and closer and closer. Yep. And you do that one with the attack stick too. And when you switch to the goalie stick, I mean, it's like, wow, this thing's big. It feels nice.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I don't know if you're going to know this one. Jack says, what are good clinics in Colorado?